forget the influence of negative external forces and not allow them to divide us. We must unite to address our challenges. All of you would recall that in the early part of the 20th century, a group of African leaders, of intellectuals, and civil rights leaders in the diaspora came together for the first Pan-African Congress to discuss the condition of Africans and of Africans in the diaspora. At that time, in the early 20th century, they envisioned a connected African community, working in close alignment to reverse the negative effects of colonialism and imperialism. Their view was that African unity was essential for African progress. We have a large diaspora scattered all over the world, and it is pleasing that our own African Union recognized the diaspora as the 6th region of Africa Union. This is the goal of uniting African people and uniting them wherever they are, not just in Africa, but wherever we are. This is our own organization's key goal. I wish to congratulate my colleague, Professor Ducey, for indefatigably leading this initiative on African roots and diaspora. The objective of close collaboration among Africans living in Africa and the millions of our brothers and sisters living in the diaspora is a critical task that we must pursue vigorously. In this year, we are celebrating 60 years since the formation of the Organization of African Unity in 1963. At that time, leaders of an Africa striving for freedom and independence met in Addis Ababa. They had great hopes for what would become an independent Africa. President Nkrumah, who clearly understood Pan-Africanism, called at that time on Africa to strive to move beyond political freedom to economic and cultural freedom. 60 years later, we still aspire for these objectives, and we must achieve them. The greatest task achieved by the Organization of African Unity was to lend its full dedication to the emancipation of our continent, to the ending of colonialism and racism on our mother Africa. The Organization of African Union's support for the freedom struggle of the people of South Africa against apartheid was an example of what can be achieved if we work in unity. We have the African Continental Free Trade Area, the development and blueprint for a stronger African Union. We have a more democratic and prosperous Africa. And we have a strong commitment, as we showed today, to African identity and a new African consciousness. We are pleased as South Africa to have been included in the high-level panel and to be given an opportunity to play a role in shaping the work and agenda of the 9th Pan-African Congress. And we look forward to working with the government and people of the Republic of Togo to realize and create a better Africa and better world. Whilst the founding principles of what we must achieve remain essentially the same, the world has evolved significantly, and perhaps in the past year and a half in radical ways. In our view, we believe it is vital that the Congress's themes are relevant to the times we find ourselves in. We believe that the Congress must focus on increased foreign direct investment into Africa on terms defined by Africans and not someone else. We believe that the themes must include increased market access for African products and strong implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. We believe there must be enhanced and qualitative change in agriculture and food security for our people. We believe there must be decisive transfer of technology and of innovation, and that we must play a role as Africans in this regard. We believe our conference must affirm that as Africans we wish to see investment in infrastructure, including health infrastructure, in order to address the shortcomings that all of us identified during the COVID-19 pandemic period. We believe we must be courageous in ensuring that we build and strengthen democratic institutions, and this must be part of what we discuss. We believe that as Africans, both on the continent and in the diaspora, we cannot neglect the development of our people through quality education. We cannot neglect capacity building and the right skills to pursue development. We cannot neglect education, training, research, and innovation. And we want to encourage the Congress to ensure that none of these themes are left out of our consideration. So, dear Professor, Chair of our high-level panel, I want to assure you of South Africa's commitment to the agenda that you and the leadership of the Republic of Togo are pursuing. We congratulate you for putting this theme on the agenda of the African Union. All of us know that we are living in a very difficult world. The global community is at odds with each other. But this is the moment for us as Africans to ensure a different outcome for ourselves. So we look forward to making a meaningful contribution, which we hope will create a vision which mirrors and links to the vision that was conceived in the early congresses by the founders of this Pan-African movement. Let us move to unity. Let us move to African development. Let us move to radical transformation of the life of the people of Africa. I thank you for this opportunity, and I hope that this launch leads to the best Congress which will be held in Lome, Togo, and which will radically alter the life of the people of Africa. I thank you.
And we thank you very much for the presence.